Procrastination. Procrastination and Research Methodology CRS students. Academic year 2017-2018. A comparative study.
General objectives. First is to determine which department has a higher tendency to procrastinate. Second is to determine which sex has a higher tendency to procrastinate. And third is to determine which occupation the students have a tendency to procrastinate in. Background of the study. Procrastination is delaying a task that needs to be done right away. Instead of finishing an urgent task, a person decides to finish another unnecessary task. However, delaying does not necessarily mean a person is procrastinating. Some people would delay because of prioritizing another important activity. When a person is procrastinating, he or she is postponing an activity without the need to. Procrastination is not new to a person. A person may procrastinate in any occupation he is dealing with. According to a study, 80% to 95% of students have procrastinated and 75% of them have procrastinated with regards to studies. There could be 3 reasons why a person or a student procrastinates. First is the personality traits of a student, which means that a student may be engaged in procrastination because he is vulnerable to it. Secondly, some may have little motivation in order not to procrastinate or have difficulty in managing time. Situational factors may also affect a person's tendency to procrastinate. A research about students' tendency to procrastinate is relevant since it has been proven that it can affect the academic level of a person. Studies have shown that people who procrastinate tend to have lower grades and school performance. This may also result to increasing the stress levels of a student because of poor time management skills. This research will be done using procrastination scale by Lay and will be given to research methodology students of CRS in the school year 2017 to 2018. Methodology. Since the general objective of this study is to compare the level of procrastination between research methodology CRS students, the prevalence of the students who procrastinate within different departments, the prevalence of male and female procrastinators on specific departments, and the level of procrastination when engaging to educational participation in IADLs will be collected. This is a 20-item self-reported 5-point Likert type scale. 10 items from GPS are reverse key items. The total score ranges from 20 to 100. The score was computed by summing all the scores for each item after reversing the items that were positively worded. A higher score means a greater use of procrastination by the students. A total of 261 participants are Research Methodology 1 CRS students with an average age of 20 years old for both male and female. The number of female participants are greater as compared to the male population. For the Department of OT, there are 64 female and 15 male participants, 63 female and 34 male for PT, 47 female and 3 male for speech-language pathology, and 14 female and 20 male participants for sports science. Results. The first objective of the study was to compare the tendency of procrastination of students of each department. This objective is an example of a descriptive research question and is quantitative based on data, descriptive based on objective, and observational based on method. The focus of this objective is to see the tendency of the students to procrastinate. The researchers computed for the mean and as well as the standard deviation of the answers of each respondent. The higher their score, the more they procrastinate. We can see that the PT and OT students had the highest tendency of procrastination as compared to the SLP and SPS. The second objective of the study was to determine which sex had the higher tendency to procrastinate. Study designs used were quantitative based on data, descriptive based on objective, and observational based on method. There were 73 male correspondents and 188 female correspondents in this study. In order to attain the objective, the mean and the standard deviation were computed. The higher the mean, the higher the tendency to procrastinate. The results of the computation were 58.03 plus minus 9.7 for the male, while 57.93 plus minus 9.9 for the female. The data was presented in a bar graph. Both mean and standard deviation results were very near to each other. Nonetheless, it was the male correspondents who had a greater level of procrastination. The third objective of the study was to determine which occupation the students have tendency to procrastinate in. This object is an example of descriptive research question and is quantitative based on data, descriptive based on objective, and observational based on method. The research is computed for the mean per question and its corresponding standard deviation. The first set will be regarding education. The second set will be regarding IADLs. The data computed was presented using a bar graph. We can see CRS research methodology students do not procrastinate in these areas of occupations. But if 2 are computed, the students tend to procrastinate IADL's activities more. Conclusion. The tendency of procrastination of CRS research methodology students are compared in 3 categories. The results show that per department, the PT students had the highest mean average, followed by OTs, SLPs, and SPS. The second objective showed that males tend to procrastinate a bit more compared to females. Lastly, students tend to procrastinate more when it comes to IADL than education. Implication: because the study done is only observational, the data presented should be seen as they are individually and do not correlate with one another. Meaning, just because physical therapy students and male students scored higher does not translate to male physical therapy students are the top procrastinations. Further research is recommended to see how the variables in the study relate to each other, as well as further research on the cause of the results and how to resolve the issue on procrastination rather than just measuring its extent.